Okay, so for starters, I got the larger design document all built out, the exact assets I need, the rough schedule, and then more specifics about how the enemies work, the player's heads up, the player's control scheme, levels, scoring, game loop. I also want to ask if it would be wrong to bring in my audio engine from Keenan's class, because I feel like that's just a fun little thing to add to the game that really isn't going to be too much work, considering it's all built in the Azul engine, so it's not that hard to bring over. I don't know. Yeah, so is this allowed? Am I allowed to consider this a feature of my game, bringing my audio engine from another class? Alright, that's about it. So for starters, I do not have barycentric, just put that ahead of time. So, set terrain 16, set terrain main. I just did both as an extra, test. Oh, actually, let's go show how the scene actually stores these. So the scene now just has a collision or a terrain manager, who essentially just maintains which pointer you're using. When you tell him to process terrain, he just calls draw, and he has a little null terrain that's just nothing. So he's always able to do things whether or not it's literally nothing or whatever the user set as the current terrain. Back to scene demo. You set the terrain. So terrain main, that's gonna be the big, super high poly, or yeah, high poly one. And then set collision player. And then it'll show the player does indeed have a set collision terrain, which I'll put a breakpoint. I'll play. And here's the beginning of my main menu, my menu screen. Oh yeah, I guess I could back out and show this just because this is going to be a feature of my tool, so. The reason I like this, it's the game title screen, is I put a bunch of functions for sprites can now be set to the center, set to full scale, and you can set what layer they start on. Buttons have the exact same thing because they're inheriting largely from the same classes. And register for mouse released is what I did. You could do from mouse click, mouse hold, you could do whatever you want there. Yeah, so these are the buttons I'm going to be using in my tool. So that was a big reason why I put my tool in the back burner, is because I wanted these buttons and all my UI to be fully fleshed out, because then I'm going to use my tool to fully display these all. So, go back to the main menu, a left click, release. Okay, you can see the player in the very center here. With the white is all of the boxes it's checking against the B sphere, and then the yellow are the ones that are actually colliding, and since there are collisions, it's showing the ABB, or my OBB. Right over there. Oh, yeah, there's little orange dots over there is my 0, 0, my actual... I split my terrain into a grid of cells. Like a 2x2 array of terrain cells, and that's the origin 0, 0 back there. And if I run off the map here, you'll see the number of boxes just get smaller. Boop. If I run to the weirdest corner, there's only a single cell. So you can see how it handles being off the map. Which I will do a quick loop just to be extra safe and prove that it works. Yeah, that it works on all 4 sides of the map. Whoop. Ta-da. And we'll run on into this train. Boop. So, player just collided. What you can see is that little red square. Yeah, some of the colors are a little weird. Yeah, the reds are the ones that are actually colliding. So I can see running all around this terrain. It goes from white, yellow to red. And then the orange flicker is just from the yellow and red swapping very quickly. And this fails. That's an assert from my tool. It's not a big deal. I'm just trying to get my session gathering to work properly. And I intentionally put this one to an exception. So I'm still debating whether I want my tool to swallow this exception or not. I think I probably will. So we'll go into train. Not the train manager. Train object. Here we go. Oh yeah, also I did my collision test command a little differently. So I have my cell, which is just basically a struct of collision. I put one collision volume on each one, and then I put these accessors. I don't know if this is entirely necessary, but it makes life easier for now. And then I don't use the rectangular area. I couldn't figure out how to do it without creating a lot of duplicate code, so I just made a single terrain iterator. So, when you do collision test command, you pass your iterator to the terrain, and he pops out. And then you could just do while loop, while is not is at end, and just plus terrain iterator. And he'll move from the lowest row and column up to the highest. He just increments up based on this little function here. While is not done, that's just prevents someone from doing something stupid where they just keep trying to plus. It'll ignore it if you get to the end where it does is untrue. Alright. And then my terrains. Yeah, I'm just going to catch up on everything. Burp. I run all of my functions through this get row and get column. Anytime you pass in a world position, it will convert it into the row and column position. So this is how it handles any possibilities of stuff being off the array. So my iterator automatically knows how to deal with this because when you pass it in here, up here, the min row and max row, if they're on top of each other, the iterator knows how to deal with that. So that's how it's able to handle like a single sphere, a singles cube, because all four of these numbers are the same. So the iterator just runs once. Yeah, I'll break these apart. I actually forgot about these guys. I'll do this once I'm finished. These guys, sorry, I forgot. I left them as a debug tool. And then on my creation, I fill in my cells, which is just a 2D array of cells where I just go through each one and assign all their data once at the front end, and I clean it up here. And that's largely about it. Not a whole lot to report on my game. I just have the two scenes that don't really have anything. The title screen's here, and I have more filled out layout. I don't know if you want more. And then there's just that one question about whether or not I can bring it. I'm allowed to bring in my audio engine from a different class.